Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This is Newsmakers, the video series that brings you beyond the car washing and detailing headlines. Today on our Newsmaker interview, we have Scott Blackstock, CEO of Tidal Wave Auto Spa, joining us. So, hello, Scott. How are you doing? And thanks for joining us here today.
Hey, Rich, doing fine, and thank you so much for inviting me to speak and share a little bit about Tidal Wave. Glad to do it.
Okay, great. Well, today's topic is the news of Tidal Wave adding its 50th location. So my first question for you here, Scott, just for those who aren't familiar, maybe you can share a little bit about your car wash chain, including any competitive differentiators that it has.
Well, the car wash industry has changed so much in the 16 years I've been part of it, and the idea that Tidal Wave would have 50 locations never occurred to me. I'm still not quite sure how it happened. It just kind of did, but we're very proud of our teams. And as far as a differentiator, I would say the thing we're most proud of is the customer service we provide. We put an awful lot of time and emphasis on providing that. We all want to produce a clean car. We all want to keep our sites looking great. Um, Probably the most challenging thing for all of us owners is providing that customer service. And I am very proud of what our team's able to do and feedback we get. And I think if there's any one thing that I can point to that Tidal Wave certainly tries to do better, it's customer service, taking care of our employees who then take care of our customers.
Okay, makes sense. Now I understand at the beginning of this year, your chain opened up its first express interior conveyor tunnel. Can you discuss some of the considerations that went into that decision?
Right, we put a belt in when, again, going back to customer service, the number one complaint I would get on our interior cleaning was not just the amount of time it took, but the customers not having any concept of how long. Was it going to be 20 minutes before my car was done today, or was it going to be 40 or sometimes even an hour? And that was the number one source of our customer frustration and unhappiness. And we're always looking to minimize that. So we put the belt in, and customers now can judge by the length of the line in front of the belt. They know once they get on the belt, it's about 8 minutes. And customers are learning that, okay, if there's a car right here, I've got 10 minutes before I get on the belt, and another 8 minutes after that, and they can judge their own length of time. And seems to have made the customers a lot happier with how quickly we're processing cars.
Now, I know, Scott, our industry, and we often discuss this in the magazine as well, you can draw some similarities from other industries. For example, site selection and design, what might work for a fast food restaurant, rooftops, dense location, high traffic count. If it's next to a mall, even better. And certainly that applies for car washing here as well. One thing that's a little bit more challenging to replicate over, let's say, a fast food restaurant is consistency of the product. So in our situation, the product is clean, dry, and shiny cars. So now as Tidal Wave has reached this milestone of 50 locations, what are the challenges and solutions to ensuring consistency and quality at each one of the locations that you operate now?
I agree that providing consistent service, especially as we spread into 8 states and 50 locations, is one of our biggest challenges. Not as challenging as the food industry. I can't even imagine the challenge of preparing food and serving food and taking care of customers and all that goes with that. So we are fortunate in that we're producing basically the same product for each of our customers time after time. It comes down to training. Like everybody, we've got training programs, we've got quality control programs. Uh, there's some variation among site leaders. By and large, they do an incredibly good job. I will say that our site leaders have embraced that these are their businesses, and I'm impressed with how how important to them and how much pride they take in the product that they're delivering out the tunnel and the service they're providing to customers and the appearance of their car wash. And they very much feel like it is their car wash. So I'm fortunate to have such a wonderful group of site leaders, and they make that still challenging, but they take on the challenge and they produce it. So I'm fortunate in that regard.
And that segues here to my next question. You mentioned your employees, and Tidal Wave Auto Spa now has over 700 employees. So how was, or still is, if at all, the labor force affected by the most recent coronavirus pandemic, and then how was training and operations affected as well?
The existing workforce, I have to admit, I'm just awed at how well they have responded through this. We requested and challenged everybody to do social distancing when it was at its peak, the employees to stay not only apart from our customers, but from each other. We instituted some common sense but important protocols to ensure our employees' safety, and they did a great job of following those protocols. And because of that, I think we've been blessed that very, very few, I mean, yeah, I can count them on less than one hand, employees that were tested positive for COVID. Very good job of them self-reporting it and isolating, staying at home. And just by and large, the tidal wave community did a great job of responding to this. The number one feedback I got from employees during this was how thankful they were that they still had a job, that so many of their friends, particularly those who worked in hospitality and dining and all, didn't have a job, and how fortunate they were. We had a lot of employees that were working two jobs and let us know that ours was the job that continued for them. So by and large, just incredibly impressed with our team. Again, good leadership from our managers, our site leaders. And I have been very pleased with how well we got through the COVID crisis with our existing team. As we're bringing people on, we are finding challenges in that area. I think everybody is. Right now, it's very difficult to bring on new employees. I think a lot of people are finding that in a lot of markets. And we'll work through that. We're using some different techniques and all to try to recruit and bring people on. But yeah, it's so far the effect on tidal wave has been a fraction of what I expected it to be. And again, I have to thank my employees for making that the case.
That's very good news. And my final question here for you, Scott, is what's next for Tidal Wave? Are there regions or markets that you'd like to penetrate here moving forward?
The markets we currently have, we feel like there's an awful lot of available locations that we've either got under contract or under construction. We are looking at a couple new markets, but we haven't moved into them yet. But right now we're focusing on building out the markets we're in. I feel like there's still an awful lot of room on the dance floor, and we're trying to leave everybody else plenty of space on the dance floor, and I hope everybody else is leaving all the other operators plenty of space, because there's plenty of room for us all to dance, and let's just not crowd each other. And I hope that continues in the industry.
Yeah, me too. It's been one heck of a dance party up until this point. So let's hope the music never stops. So I appreciate you taking the time here today, Scott, to do this interview for carwash.com, and certainly congratulations on the milestone of reaching your 50th location, and we wish you all the best moving forward.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And I appreciate everything you and your team does. And the information you provide is invaluable to us. Thank you.